And sometimes you become the company you keep. And the company that I was keeping, you know, was smoking and we're drinking and we're doing all these things. And my self-esteem really got low. And I kind of sort of felt like nothing was going to change, nothing was going to happen, I was never going to be anything, because I didn't really feel like I had people pulling me in the right direction, you know, because with mom working and dad working, you know, I was kind of sort of indirectly learning from everybody, you know. And so I think with that, I kind of felt like, you know, maybe this is it. You know, when I was in the 5th grade, I remember this day clearly. You know, in the report cards, you get your little honor roll, good work sticker. Yeah. And I was so used to seeing that. And this particular report card, my teacher put possible retention as being considered. Because I really got sad about my parents separating and, you know, everybody kind of doing their own things. And so I really just started to feel really bad and feel really down. And I kind of carried that on from elementary to junior high to high school. And it really just brought me into a really down place, you know, not being able to connect with my family and, you know, my friends were just all over the place. Because, of course, as children, you don't really grow up in that drug environment unless somebody puts you there. It's not something that you just automatically chooses. You know what I mean? Because you don't know no better. But sometimes people can put you in that environment and you start to think that this is it.
Yeah, are you starting to find, because you mentioned you work with junior and high school kids, are you starting to find that one person who is like that? Because when you're in situations like this, you kind of shut everyone out. A lot of them do not trust people. And how do you work with that? And are you actually finding kids like that?
Well, I do find kids like that. But the object and the important thing is to not force them. Because when you force them before they're ready, you'll push them away. And that's what you don't want to do. You want to stay as neutral as possible. So I have this one girl, she'll get like into it. And then something will happen, or some memory of some tragedy will come in, and she'll pause. And I'm gonna say, well, you can talk about it. Come on, talk to me. Yeah, just breathe. No, you don't want to talk about it. Then we won't touch the topic. You know, and you'll get more when you do that. You know, when you just kind of lay low and just kind of let them say, you know, Shannon, I did so and so. Shannon, I said, or Shannon, this happened to me, and then they get all choked up. And I don't rub the back, and I don't do all that. I kind of let them have that. I give them that opportunity to really express that emotion. I try not to take things from them because you're very vulnerable.
Yes.
You're very vulnerable. You're very open, and it's so easy to get shaken off just in a second. True. So I just try to let them go. I'm sorry, man.
Oh no. For someone who was a youth who was to come to you and say, you know, I want to find peace in my life, you know, and I know it is a process, but what will be one of the first things you tell them about kind of finding peace within?
Well, what is it that is unpeaceful? You got to be able to identify your issue first before you can fix it. You just can't say, I want a peaceful life. Well, define what is chaotic. You know, the dog is always barking, my mother's always calling my name, and I just need some peace. Not quite, but we'll work on it. But you have to identify first. So that's what I would say. Well, what are the things, you know, that you're going through, and what is the chaos? What makes it not peaceful for you? You know, whether it's internal or external. You know, just I want to be able to attack the issue first.
Yeah. So you mentioned letting them have that moment, letting them, you know, kind of warm up in that sense where they feel like they can talk to you. Once they are past that stage where they open up and they feel comfortable talking to you, what is the next step into really helping them get out of whatever situation or darkness that they're in?
I find out what they want. You know, you're in this place. Now when you get out of it, what do you want to do? You know, where do you want to go? Who do you want to talk to? I am not one of the selfish ones that think I can do it all myself. So if I can't help you after this point, then I'll send you to the best person, which is obviously somebody that I'm comfortable with, because I don't want to nurture you out of it and then the person comes behind me and puts you back in there. So basically I would just really find out exactly what do you want to do next, and then once we understand what you want to do, then we'll create the steps to building you here and taking you there and kind of expanding where you want to go.
That is awesome, and I want to thank you for being here because, this is not the last time she's going to be on the show. We really want you back on the show so we can hear about all the progress reports on your company, and we want to get involved.
The website.
And the website.
Where people can reach you.
Yeah, where people...
www.osomninc.com.
OSOMINC.com.
Yes,
okay.
osominc.com.
Thank you, Miss Shannon
All right.
Sanders. Thank you, and we'll be right back with JoRob.
I know how to make them stop and stare as I zone out. The club can't even handle me right now. Watching me, I go all out. The club can't even handle me right now. The club can't even handle me right now.
Can't nothing handle me right now. I see you, D-Getter. Let's get 'em.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line Show.
Stop doing that.
We are back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Please, you can view this webisode on www.youtube.com/bottomlineshow1. And you also get some behind the scenes clips and footage of what really goes on when the camera turns off. So make sure you go there. Also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/bottomlineshow. Up next, we have a really great singer, upcoming R&B and soul singer. He has been singing since he was the age of 4, and he is here. Please welcome JoRob. JoRob. Joe, you mind to call you Joe, right? All right.
JoRob, and all of them.
You have a birthday coming up on the 17th.
Yes, sir.
What are the plans, and how can we get involved?
I know.
You going to all the hottest
Big.
stuff before? How can we get involved?
I'm ready.
Oh man, I mean, honestly,
PG.
I really wanted to play it kind of, just real smooth, hang out, and get something to eat,
Yeah.
Because the past years it was just clubs. This year I just want to kind of sit back.
Oh, that's good because we like
Right, let's go to karaoke.
We like to eat.
Yeah.
You know, we
Y'all
can
like
cook
that?
with
Y'all
you a
like
couple
that?
meals.
Yeah, we like. I'm with the
Hey,
top.
let's make it happen.
If you paying, then I'll be there because money
They got
is
good spring
low.
rolls.
Money
I gotta
is
make
low.
that call.
Let's make it happen.
But you started singing at the age of 4 after the death of your father. Explain to me how you started singing. What motivated you after that death to sing?
Pain. I mean, simple as that. I was going through a lot. My father, he was murdered in cold blood.
Yeah.
And being young, I had siblings, I had a brother, a sister, I had a half brother. Someone had to take charge, and I'm the middle child, and we always play that role.
Yeah.
So I had to step it up, and just that's what kept me strong, and would help me move on from that pain and help my family.
That is awesome. It's awesome. Very awesome.
Who were some of your inspirations with singing? Who did you look up to?
Oh man, Mariah Carey, I like Johnny Gill. I like the new people like Drew Hill, the Ushers, how y'all say it.
Where's that other R come from?
I don't know, man.
You just throw it in there.
Bird. Ice cream.
Bird.
But there you go. So I like all kinds of music. I believe in two genres, good and bad. So I listen to rock, country, techno, classical, everything.
Wow.
Very cool.
Wow.
Wow. You also did a quote. I'm not going to quote you because I don't want to mess it up. But in the quote, you talk about artists and compromising as an artist, and if they compromise or if they give in or settle for less, then they will fail. What is failing as an artist, do you think?
I think failing as an artist, when you come to the point, maybe you push it to the side and you dwell on the past. Man, I should have did this, or I should have did that. If you didn't leave it all out on the stage, that's your failure. You didn't do what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
So.
How do you deal with the negativity? Because I'm sure as we mentioned, as we have all of our guests on the show, they all say, when you are trying to start something up or do something positive, you have criticism. So how do you deal with that?
Wow. First I go to the studio. If I'm not feeling good about what's going on, I'll call my buddies up who produce and say, hey man, I need to get in the lab. I'll go to the lab and I'll put it all out on paper, and then I'll let the world know, look, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You gotta be here for me because I'm not like the typical artist.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be the mouth. There's not many people out there like, back in the day. You remember songs from back in the day, and you remember artists because they had something beneficial, something to say to you.
Yeah.
The artists nowadays, what are they saying? Nothing.
That's
I
why
don't
Soulja
know.
Boy didn't get that Grammy.
Exactly. Exactly.
JoRob right here.
Thank you. So.
Speaking of, we're gonna have to test you, you know, because you mentioned some pretty Johnny Gill right there.
Yeah.
So we want to hear you sing something.
Let's save that for the end of the interview. We're gonna save that for the end of the interview because I
Better
give
get
you
it
some
done.
time to think
Yeah,
about
about
a song.
what
You gotta
song
come.
you want.
When you on Bottom Line Show, you got to come with it.
Okay. Do you have an album coming out?
I do. It's self-titled JoRob, but under it, R&B's Best Kept Secret. So,
Nice.
So like, what is that moment like where you realize, you know, that you're accomplishing everything that you've worked toward?
it's exhilarating. I mean, you get it's like electricity going through your body. You know, every time you like I perform, and it's probably how you guys when you're up here, you feel like, man, this is major. You know, you see smiles on people's faces, they remember you. It feels really good. It's an adrenaline rush.
You mentioned not being the typical artist. What makes you unique? What makes JoRob, and not just another Chris Brown or another John Legend? What makes you who you are?
Well, first off, they were created. A lot of them were created. I've built my industry from the bottom up.
Yeah.
I came from nothing, and I'm trying to turn it into something, and I'm trying to bring people on. You know, I mean, just being on this show, like, I can see myself 2 years from now saying, you know what? Come on, y'all, come out and do an interview. You know, VIP. You know, like,
Corrallus.
I mean, it's just stuff like that.
So we,
Get off with your face.
it's gonna be Red Lobster right
Nah.
No, it's gonna be a ketchup in that. There's a restaurant about ketchup.
Yeah, I think that's Ashton Fletcher. They had one at their harbor.
Yeah. We want to come to the one in LA.
Like,
We want to be on tour.
let's do
with
it.
You doing it?
Hey,
Right now.
When we come back,
It's all
when
Baltimore
we-
with
We gonna have
When we
suitcases
come back,
when we come back.
we are going to be still talking to JoRob about his album, about his music, about his tour, about everything, and he's going to sing for us. When we come back right here, Bottom Line Show.
I'm really trying to make it more than what it is, cause everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
That I could have this moment for life.